but I do want my T-shirt to show a little bit because I love my T-shirt.
You love your T-shirt?
Look, it's like unrequited
love. Oh, I don't want to move
love.
it. I don't want to. What is it?
It's like unrequited love. You see how they found each other?
Oh. Oh, is that the blowfish and the...
And the porcupine. No one understands them and they can be together.
There's a lot of talk about blowing.
Yeah. Maybe.
Well, here's a casserole dish, and I'm with Jennifer Grace. Jennifer, who are you playing?
I'm playing Maribel Beadham.
Fabulous. And gorgeous to boot.
Oh, well, you're very nice.
You are.
Thank you.
Very much so.
I appreciate it.
So my first question is, do you like to cook?
I do.
You
I'm
do?
a big cook.
Are
yeah,
you?
yeah. I
Okay.
love cooking.
Okay, what's your dish?
What's my dish? What's my dish? I don't know if I have a favorite dish. I like just getting into the kitchen and like throwing up. That's a whole different take. I like going into the kitchen and just throwing up in the fridge and seeing what I can make out of what I have. So I'm sort of adventurous that way.
Fabulous. So, are you really passionate about it, or is it just like on a whim? Do you like cook for your husband and stuff?
I do.
You
yeah,
do?
yeah.
Does he cook?
He does cook, not
Okay.
as well as me, and I think he might agree with that, or maybe he'll be offended to hear me say that. But
how did you do this when being on Broadway for like 2 years?
Off-Broadway.
Oh, off-Broadway.
Yeah.
How did you do this being off-Broadway?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to say you on Broadway.
I'd like to say
that
it too.
Because you're that fabulous.
Appreciate it.
But how did you do that with not cooking and going and doing 8 shows a week?
Yeah, yeah. Well, for the past 2 years, my husband has been, well, we lived in separate cities for the first year that I was doing it, but for the past year that he's been with me in New York, he has been a bit of a stay-at-home husband, who would have dinner ready for me when I got home from my show.
Oh,
so we'd have late dinners when I got home, and he'd be in charge of it.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Now, if what's your favorite dish or meal of the day? Would it be breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or supper?
Supper.
Or midnight snack?
I guess it's probably dinner, because I feel like I usually have so much going on during the day that I generally don't sit down to eat until the dinner meal, and I think psychologically I like that too.
Like it's your time to stop?
Yeah, to just sort of like sit and process and enjoy company and conversation, and like, you know, a nice meal really complements that.
Well, then do you occasionally do a dinner party?
Yeah, I love that.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
So you like entertaining?
I do. I like to be a hostess.
It's in your blood.
A little bit, I think so.
Yeah, the entertaining blood.
Yeah.
What's the best lie you ever told?
Oh, man, the best lie I ever told, besides my age.
Yeah.
Let's see, the best lie I have ever told.
She what, 23 or something like that?
Almost 25. The best lie I ever told. You know, I don't really. This sounds so ridiculous, but I don't really lie that much. I'm not anti-lie.
Right.
But
you're truthful.
I'm fairly truthful, I think.
And honest.
Yeah, I would say that I'm pretty honest about how I'm feeling.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you were a recipe, if Jennifer Grace was a recipe,
yes,
what would be your ingredients? Like cups, measurement, or teaspoons, tablespoons? What would it be?
Probably 2 cups of very nice yarn. Because I'm a knitter.
Yarn?
Yeah.
How do you digest that? Because I know it gets caught in cats' tummies, but
that's true. That's a whole other story.
Okay.
Too. A heaping tablespoon of Ric Flair.
Okay.
Professional wrestler from the 80s.
Okay. This is interesting.
Just a dash of Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction.
Really?
And then you roll all of that in coconut and toast it lightly.
Is that why you have the skull...
the skull belly ring?
Belly ring?
I'm a little bit of a rocker.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I'd never expect that from you.
People say that a lot.
I kind of think you're really, you're not, I don't want to say you're goody two-shoes.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying, but you kind of have this really smart girl appeal to you.
Yeah.
Well, you are smart, but...
I'm a smart girl.
Yeah.
True. Which I think then it always catches people off guard when they see how many tattoos I have. But I like that, you know.
Right,
I like having sort of, you know, things about me that are actually really truly parts of me. Like, I'm a huge heavy metal fan.
Okay.
I'm really nerdy about professional wrestling, old professional wrestling. I'm not a fan.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And there are lots of weird sort of kitschy things that I love. Like, I'm fascinated with old time radio plays.
Right.
And sort of old world stuff. But that's, you know, those are my things. They're not necessarily the things that I present to people right away when I first meet them.
Okay, nice. What? Oh God, I'm like, I have my little cheat sheet here. I know this is a very personal question, but have you been regretful about sleeping with someone?
Yeah.
And why is that? Why did you feel like you were regretful?
I think the only times that I've ever felt regretful about sleeping with someone are times when I felt in retrospect that I made poor choice in trusting an individual. I've never necessarily regretted the experience of you know, sex with somebody, because I'm not particularly uptight about that kind of thing.
Right.
But I do believe pretty strongly in, you know, self-respect and instilling, you know, that in a relationship, whether it's a one-night stand or a relationship.
Right.
The only times I've ever been regretful are when I felt like, on the other side of it, that the person I was involved with wasn't respecting me. That's a big thing for me.
Okay. Did you ever feel any shame at all?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
why the hell did I just do this?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I've certainly had my fair share of that in college.
Yeah, well, that's usually when that kind of stuff happens.
That's when everybody does that, yeah.
Trust me, I still deal with shame.
Right.
So, well, now speaking of relationships, have you, what do you think is wrong with relationships today? I mean, I know this is such a general question.
Yeah.
I mean, give me some specific examples.
Well, I'm married, as you said before, and I've been married for a little while. I've been with my husband for a long time, and so and it's a really great, solid relationship after a string of, you know, not so solid ones. They always say, you know, every relationship fails until one doesn't.
Right.
And so, you know, in looking back on the difference between what makes our relationship work and the ones that I've had before, is the sense of knowing in the relationship that I'm in now that we are on a team.
Right.
As opposed to playing, you know, opposite sides of a game and sort of trying to win or one-up each other and, you know, find ways to be competitive and manipulative.
Yes.
I think that's the real reason that we hardly ever get into fights. We get into disagreements and we argue about things, but it's never pointed at each other. Because we both know that ultimately, if this thing is going to work, we're on a team together.
Right. So there's a great sense of communication because you know that, I mean, a lot of, you know, so when we're dealing with issues, when people are having issues and problems, do you think relationships need to be worked out, or do you think they need to be separated?
I mean, it depends on, you know, I think that's a case-by-case basis, you know? It depends on what the issues are and frankly how much both people in the relationship are willing to compromise and sacrifice. Like, how important is continuing as a couple versus whatever it is that's bothering you individually.
Right. Great guy. You've got, it sounds like you do have a really good relationship. Then tell me then, let's go in the reverse. What is the ideal relationship? What's the most idealistic? Like, what do you see as the most, I don't want to say perfect, because nothing's ever perfect, but what is the most idealistic relationship, a marriage, or it doesn't necessarily have to be marriage, but
sure.
just relationship, partnership,
sure. Yeah, romantic partnership.
Yeah.
Well, for me personally, I think behind just good communication, I have to be able to laugh. I think a couple has to be able to laugh together and be really sort of easy and joyful with each other. If there's no real sense of joy of being with your partner,
right,
then what's the point of sticking it out? That's always the way I feel. If you can't find times in every single day to have a private sort of celebration and smile with each other, then I don't know, that would be a really hard relationship to be in.
See, I watch too many romantic comedies, and I think that's what relationships should be about. And and then and I go, oh God, I so wish it could be like the movies, but it's not.
Right, it's not.
It's amazing how they warp our perception of that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, fantastic. Here's a cute little question. What did you want to be when you were a kid?
It's funny. I went back to my mom's house. She has a big, box of mementos from my childhood that she still keeps. And I found this worksheet that I had done when I was in 3rd grade or something like that. One of those Xeroxed booklets that you put together where there's a picture and you color your little picture in, and then it has all these lines next to it, and it says, my favorite animal is...
Right.
And then you fill it in. And the thing that makes me mad is...
What is that?
And I don't remember what that one is, but I do remember seeing this, and it was long after, I had been out of the house and sort of on my career path. When I grow up, I want to be either a teacher or a movie star.
Really?
Yeah.
Guess what?
I'm not a teacher.
No, you're not.
No,
well,
I'm not.
You know what? Maybe you are, and you just don't know it.
Maybe.
I mean, from the conversation I'm having with you, you kind of seem like you're teaching me some shit right now.
Well, I'm taking you to school, my friend. Get your pencil
I
out.
think I need to go to the Jennifer Grace of life school.
Well, we've got an open enrollment policy.
Yes. So, final question is, if you were any type of liquor, like beer, wine, any kind of booze, which would you think you represent and why?
I think I'm a really, really dirty martini.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not that sweet necessarily.
Okay.
But I'm pretty smooth.
Okay.
And I've got a little bit of bite.
Excellent.
But all in all, I'm pretty classy.
I'm going to be on your good side from now on.
I would suggest that.
Yes. She's my new best friend. Well, you are an amazing disher. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mwah. And that's more Casserole Dish. Watch the Casserole Club. That's it.
Yay. That was fun.